Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Wednesday, and all of our guests today in the wake of the Canucks 6-1 drubbing in Winnipeg. Brought to you by Able Auctions, our title sponsor, ableauctions.ca. John Shannon is going to join us now from the 100% Hockey Podcast with Darren Millard. John Davidson of the Columbus Blue Jackets, a guest today on 100% Hockey. And John Shannon joins us now. John, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Hello, boys. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we got you.
Good.
6-1, Jets over the Canucks. I don't know how much you watched that, John, but was that more about the Jets or more about the Canucks?
Well, I did watch enough of it, that's for sure. And my answer is the Jets are a better team. I think we have to be realistic about that. But after watching Vancouver play such a smart game on Saturday against the Maple Leafs, I was shocked to think that it was the same hockey club. Yeah. Just too many mental errors, too many silly mistakes. I don't know. I mean, Rick Tocchet, if he had hair, it would be gray. It's difficult to understand. And your conversation about the team being so inconsistent is just a puzzling one. This is kind of like, when you go camping in Manning Park and you try to light a fire I just try to figure out one day they're going to light the fire and it's going to happen. And I assume that's exactly what management and the coaching staff's thinking.
You still have belief in the Vancouver Canucks as they're constructed, John? Sounds like it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's good to see Philip Hronek back. Is it going to take more than one game for him to be at true playing shape? Yeah, it is. But you know what? I still think the core is good enough to play. I would actually argue that the core may not be near as much of the issue as the depth of the team has become a problem. And you're not getting secondary scoring when you need it. And so that to me, and I know, listen, we can sit and debate Pettersson and Miller all night long, as it happens every day in Vancouver. But, when you look at the good teams, the way they're playing now, when you see Vegas play, when you see Edmonton play, when you see Florida play, they're getting contributions from all 12 forwards, not just 4 or 5. And that's really a challenge for Vancouver right now.
But, John, Jim Rutherford, where's his patience level? I mean, his patience level's got to be absolutely near zero right now.
I would suspect so. That he's not the most patient guy at the best of times anyway, because he's so competitive.
Yeah.
And I think when you look though at what's gone on, is you say, where is that? I mean, I admire your stubbornness on this hockey team, Rick, because there are so many key members that played so well the second half of the season last year, and where are they now? That you guys talked about the first 17 games. Well, they were 4 games over 500 after 17 games to start the season. If you multiply that over the period of 82 games, this team, we would not be having this debate. So when the team did get its injury bug, when it started to flounder at home, that's when the team started to have major issues. And in many ways, it's, even though Winnipeg was really bad, I mean, let's face it, Winnipeg was bad, it's their home record that has really killed them so much this season.
Absolutely. Hey, the Boo Birds are out in Toronto, back-to-back losses on home ice. Vancouver and Dallas. What's going on there? I think 3 straight regulation time losses.
Yeah, no, they're. I mean, it's not Vancouver level struggle, but the Maple Leafs are struggling. They're starting at this time of year. It happens. They're starting to get some bumps and bruises. They're starting to get some injuries in key times. The fascination in Toronto really is this team is still at the top of their division without Austin Matthews being Austin Matthews. And so now the challenge will be is what do you do with Matthews and Marner? Do you split them up? What do you do with Tavares and Nylander? They still in Toronto are, I think, in need of more depth on this team. A guy like Nick Robertson, who's been in and out of the lineup, has contributed at times, but is frustrating for the coach, I can assure you. So there are still some depth issues in Toronto that need to be fixed. The positive for Toronto, for the most part, Rick, is that the issues that plagued them the last couple of seasons, goaltending and defense, are much closer to being remedied now. Anthony Stolarz is going to be back sooner than later. Joseph Woll has played very well, so their goaltending will be answered. And their defense with Ekman Larsson and Tanev, two names very familiar to guys in Vancouver, has been much better. So there are some positives within the Maple Leaf world, but like every team that flounders a little bit, they're looking for depth scoring and another defenseman.
Hey, John, back to what we saw from the Jets last night. Just so impressive and points-wise tied for first place overall with Washington as we speak. Most likely Canadian team to break the Canadian curse, or slump if you want to call it, going back to 93. Jets, Oilers, Leafs, dare I say, Canucks. It would be between the Jets and Oilers, I would imagine.
I would think so. I would think so. Could you imagine what TNT or ESPN do with a Western Conference final, Winnipeg versus Edmonton? That would be fun to watch. It would be great for Sportsnet. Yeah. It'd be great for our friends at the network. But I think when you look at both of those teams, they're the two best teams in Canada right now, and playing such different styles of game. Mind you, I tell you what, Stuart Skinner has had a really good run right now. He's playing very well. He's not Connor Hellebuck, but he's played very well, and that's one of the reasons why the Oilers are where they are. Draisaitl and McDavid are still Draisaitl and McDavid, but they're getting depth scoring. They're getting contributions from a lot more people, and they're getting contributions from guys like Troy Stetcher, who has been very good in Edmonton this season.
Why don't you just bring up every defenseman the Canucks have given up on over the last 5 or 6 years?
Because I'm trying to get onto the what's the name of the poll? The waddling dog.
Waddling dog.
Waddling dog.
Yeah.
I want to get on the waddling dog poll. Is who do the Canucks miss most?
Yeah.
So
Stetcher, Tanev, OEL.
That's right.
Harold Sneps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey. We loved Harold Sneps. Come on now,
Absolutely.
Donnie. Harold Sneps was the best.
Everybody loves Harold except for Rick.
No, well, hey, he gave the puck away. Game 1 overtime, 82, New York. Mike Bossy, bang, bang, back of the net.
You're telling the guy who was there doing the game.
Yeah.
I still haven't recovered from that game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you.
And you do have to laugh. There's always whipping boys on this team. Dennis Kearns was, as you guys remember, Dennis Kearns was the whipping boy for a decade.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best Canucks defensemen of all time. Look at his stats. His photo's right behind me.
Right behind
as
Donnie.
a matter of fact, in the Flying V's. John, thanks for this. We'll go down memory lane and other things next week.
Well, it's the plight of being a Canuck fan.
Yeah.
It started early and it doesn't let up.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you're telling people who watched last night's game. Thanks for that, John.
Yeah.
Memories of '82 with John Shannon.